I'm Michael Dennison, Research Director at Control Risks, and I'm here at the Flame 2013 Gas Conference in Amsterdam. And I'm joined by Dr. Fatih Birol, the Chief Economist of the International Energy Agency. Dr. Birol, it's a pleasure to have you here.
Thank you.
You're going to give a world energy outlook shortly. Can you give us a sneak preview of what you're going to say?
There are several messages coming from the World Energy Outlook, and one major message is that the foundations of the global energy system is shifting and shifting profoundly. And there are three drivers of this shift. One, we see a surge of unconventional oil and gas production in US, Canada and Australia, which changes the picture there. Second, today is the second year after Fukushima. In addition to the tragic effects on the Japanese people, we also see that this has major implications for the nuclear industry. The appetite for nuclear is going down, and this has implications for the markets as well, because if the nuclear goes down, something has to go up in order to compensate it. This is the second driver. And the third and the final driver, which goes in many instances unnoticed, is that many countries are pushing energy efficiency policies in place. On the demand side, this will have major implications. In Europe, we have an energy efficiency directive. China set very strong targets in their 5-year plan. United States, first and second Obama administration, takes energy efficiently very seriously. So as a result of that, the growing unconventional oil and gas production, the declining share of nuclear power in the global energy mix, and pushing the energy efficiency as a major policy instrument will give a new energy picture with many consequences on the competitiveness issue and also on the geopolitics of energy.
On that geopolitics point, there are going to be some winners and losers among the producer states. If we take Russia, for example, you've got the growth of spot pricing. They've traditionally used long-term supply contracts, the growth of LNG and unconventionals, as you've described. Where do you see the Russian gas sector in the next few years?
Russia is one of the clear losers from this game. If Russia or the Russian energy policy makers woke up and they were able to see what is going on the unconventional gas picture, they could be better off. But now they will lose for two reasons. One, amount of gas they will export in the future will be less than what they thought before, because new producers are coming. And the second, in terms of prices, since there are new producer exporters coming in the picture, they will not be able to get the prices that they would like to get. So they will lose from quantity and from prices, and as a result of that, perhaps lower revenues than they thought before.
You talked about the winners in the global gas sector. Where do you see the emerging markets, the emerging producers coming from?
I think in addition to the established producers, there may be new players coming in the market. And in the short to medium term, I would say one may want to give a close look to Iraq, especially north of Iraq. One may want to give a look at some new countries in Africa. And plus, perhaps a bit in the longer term, one should see what could come from Ukraine to the global gas markets.
Where do you see India fitting in? There's clearly a huge demand for gas, or a likely increase in demand for gas. And there is gas there in the form of shale and conventional gas. But there are numerous problems in actually getting that gas out of the ground. Where do you see the Indian gas sector in, say, 10 years' time?
I think both China and India, they have strong potential to make use of their shale gas and coal bed methane. But I see several problems ranging from having a market, having the right investment framework, and to provide the basis for the companies to invest to explore and get the production out. But definitely, I expect in both markets a strong growth potential for gas, both in terms of the consumption and also in terms of the production. And they will be, both of them are top candidates in terms of adding volumes to the international gas markets.